Hey guys, this is Anthony with the Hivemind. I'm here with Daniel and Aaron, and today's show is going to be kind of like a meet the Hive meeting. So we want to talk about the people that are in the Hive, what they're doing, what they are good at, and how they can help you grow your business. So uh, I guess we'll go ahead and let Daniel. You want to open it up and kind of Aaron, introduce yourself.
I'm Daniel, co-founder of Hivemind. I'm here with Anthony. Like I said, uh, we're first person right now. We're launching it right now. So this is Aaron from Chicago. He can tell you a little bit about himself, but we're excited to have him a part of the Hive and introduce himself right here.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Aaron Munoz. I'm from Chicago, like the guy said. I'm a national real estate investor. I'm producing leads right now throughout the nation, just about in every state, every city. Um, what I'd like to do is focus on bringing in other wholesalers so that they can JV any leads that I bring on board. Also, if they need help creating that actual closing, whether it be negotiating or getting them set up with the attorneys or etc. Boots on the ground. I can facilitate all that as well. Yeah, so I kind of grew up in a family that was used to investing in real estate. They would buy properties, hold on to them, and then they do all the rehab renovations, and then they turn around and sell them for a pretty good profit. And so I kind of grew up in that environment, working on properties with my parents and looking at properties. And so getting now into my age, I'm in my 40s. I've been just about in every different occupation you can think of, from sales to fitness to construction, and and so along the way, I basically come to realize that the way to really make wealth and generational wealth is through real estate. My parents proved it to me. They've made a pretty good amount of money, and so I know this is the way to go. And so just in meeting Daniel and Anthony in the Hive, it's just come to light where I realized I really need to put my best foot forward and really launch REI campaign across the nation. Is really the goal here, to be able to get across every different state and city and lock hands with those that are doing the same thing so that we can close more deals. Um, the vision here, it basically is to have that presence where if I have a deal that I'm working on because of a lead that came in and it's across the country, I can pick up the phone or jump online here with the group and say, hey, so-and-so, I have this deal. Would you want to work it with me? We could JV together. We split the deal 50-50 or whatever it may be. And at that point, I'm closing a deal that I couldn't close on my own. So that's the vision there. The dream long term is to be able to build generational wealth for myself and my family and my kids and their kids, and to basically bring them on board and teach them exactly what the Hive is showing me. So, and that's a sense of community, the sense of the Hive.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's an awesome vision, and that's something that I really admired about you early on, is that you kind of saw that vision on your own. Like that was the idea. That's why we created the Hive, right? So you come on board, and then now you're telling me like, "Hey, I'm running leads nationwide." Like, so no questions asked, right? And I like that you're like a take charge kind of guy. You're gonna get out there. You're gonna make it happen, asking very few questions. So yeah, that's pretty amazing that you were already thinking of that, coming into the Hive. So you mentioned that I know you've been doing this room on Clubhouse now. It's every Saturday at what time? 7 p.m.
Yeah, so the room on Clubhouse right now, I'm trying to establish a time. We did it 4 o'clock the first day, which was a couple Saturdays ago. We tried 7 p.m. and it started off slow, but man, it picked up and it lasted till 12 o'clock midnight Central Time. So it was on pretty good. And this week we're gonna try 7:30, just because I'll be on an airplane flying to Florida. So I think 7:30 will be a time where I know I'll be in the air and I'll be able to jump on. Otherwise, I'd have to reschedule. But it's going into the future. It's probably going to be, I'm guessing, like a 7-ish time, and maybe as winter rolls around, we'll make it a little earlier.
Do you have a club on Clubhouse?
You know what? I don't necessarily have a club on Clubhouse, but the Hivemind just launched a nationwide perspective club, and so I'll be piggybacking off the Hivemind nationwide club.
Awesome.
Perfect.
One thing you didn't mention was what type of properties are you doing nationwide? Is there like a specialty or property you're looking for? Is just any deal that you can help people close more deals, or is it a specific type of deals?
Oh, that's a good question. So I personally, I'm marketing on Facebook right now, and I'm doing land campaigns. I just launched today, and I also have been doing houses. So whether it be, and I've come across just about everything. So I've come across multifamily, I've come across some commercial properties. So roughly anything that comes my way, I'm gonna work it, and be able to dish these out to other people throughout the nation.
Okay, perfect. So if somebody wants to JV with you, how can they get a hold of you? Like, would they just reach out to you by text, or should they find you on Facebook or your Instagram? How can people reach out to you to start helping you work some of those nationwide leads?
Yeah, so a really easy way to look me up is my name is Aaron Munoz, and so on Facebook and just about every social media, if you look up Aaron Munoz, the relentless entrepreneur, you'll find me. And I'm pretty much in just about every social media platform that there is. The other way, you can just message me on any one of those, and I'll be happy to get something set up. The other way is through the Hive. So if you're already a Hive member or not, you can reach me in through the Facebook pages on there as well. I'd be happy to give you my phone number if it comes to that. And so, we can go from there.
Perfect, man. So you are an expert negotiator, right? So you can help people close these deals. You want to tell us a little bit about your sales background and maybe the type of sales that you do, or do you want to share anything about that?
Yeah, so my sales background is it's not so extent, but it's pretty dynamic. Um, a long time ago, basically, I was in my teens, right out of high school. I went to work for a company uh, doing fundraising for a missing children. So I ended up, I'm from Chicago. I ended up basically going across the country and opening up an office in California. Um, and I wasn't even 18 years old yet, so I had to have a co-manager, but basically ran that office for several years, and I was able to pump out some pretty astronomical numbers. And it was, face-to-face fundraising, whether it was with individual people or businesses. So I kind of really learned to hone in on getting out there and putting everything aside in terms of whatever doubts I had in my mind, and just focus on the vision of the fundraiser. And in doing so, I discovered that it's not about me. It's about the person that I'm talking to, and it's about the cause. So if I can connect the cause with the person, that's number one, right? Because I can make it relatable. And then step two is finding, those drawstrings of how am I going to pull them in to the cause, and so that was my first step into the sales type of industry. Secondly, I ended up coming back to Chicago and joining a fitness company, Bally Total Fitness. I'm sure a lot of you have known about it. It was a nationwide company. It's no longer around, but I started off as a morning salesperson, trying to sell memberships. And I don't know if any one of you know, the fitness industry in the morning is not very active. I worked down in a downtown Northside club in Chicago, and so there was about 6-7 salespeople every day at night. That's how busy we were. But they stuffed me in the morning, and so I had to sink or swim. They weren't willing to teach me. It's pretty cutthroat. So I literally grabbed the notepad. I grabbed the notepad and wrote down everything that I said to someone that came into the door to join, and I wrote down every result, whether they chose to join or not. And I also wrote down everything they said to me in return. And just by keeping those notes and adjusting and tuning my sales pitch, I developed the opportunity to identify what things worked and what things didn't, and what outcome I would get if I said certain things. So in that process, I started to learn that it's basically all psychology, right? It's all psychology. It's how well that you can get inside the person's head, and bring any pain points to the surface and uncover any motivation that they have, whether it's good or bad, to the surface, and tie that to how, by bringing that to surface and bringing that to light, I would be able to help them mold that into an actual reality. And so in the fitness industry, it's all about, getting in shape, feeling better, getting healthier, and a couple other things there, right? You might have fitness goals, you might be an athlete. So really, the only way that you can lock someone down, not only to sell them a membership, but to actually change their life and get them to be on board and believe in themselves, is to get them to that emotional point where you basically break them down to uncover those things, but you build them back up with tools. And the tools are your ability to basically solve their problem. And so if you take those concepts and you adapt them to real estate, it's the same concept. You have people that are going through tough situations in their life, where whatever it may be, whether it's divorce, whether it's a loss of a family member that was a breadwinner, or the other half of the money, whether they're moving from one state to another. I mean, everyone has a pain point related to their situation. And so if you can uncover why they're reaching out to you, and you can peel back those layers, and then tie in what type of service and solution you can provide to them. You first of all, you got to remember, people truly, genuinely want you to help them. They want you to be the one to help them. So you have to be able to uncover that, and you go into it with that mindset where you're there truly to help someone with their problem. Whether you're the solution or not, you're going to help them out with it. So, and what I mean by that is, you being the solution is, okay, I get the contract on the property. But if you don't get the contract on the property, maybe they want to sell with the realtor. Maybe they want to sell for sale by owner. Maybe they want to do a loan modification. Maybe they want to do a short sale. Even if you don't get that deal on paper, you can still help them out with those other issues. And by doing that, you're going to see that it's going to come back twofold. Whether you help them with that, or they suddenly have a second thought and say, you know what, I wanted to do a short sale, or you know what, I wanted to sell with a realtor, but I feel so comfortable with you that I changed my mind. I'm going to sell you this property. So go in it with that frame of mind, and you're going to see that these types of things are going to get easier for you to develop that skill and hone in on the ability to identify these things.
Man, I love that you brought that up, and I consider myself an expert negotiator as well. And I think it really is about having the best interest in mind of the person that you are selling to, right? And we call it selling because there's not a better word for it. But yeah, you're helping that person like psychologically unlock a solution. Sometimes we are the best solution, and sometimes we're not, And like you said, if somebody likes you, knows you, they trust you, they feel like you're the man for the job, yeah, they'll go with you. And sometimes it even defies logic. I had a guy sell me a house, and he said, I had an offer $30,000 higher than yours. He says, but I want to do the deal with you. And some people are like, they just think it's a straight all out bidding war, right? When you're in the real estate business, and that's not necessarily what it is. So I think the approach that you take to sales is amazing, man. And I think that's what makes you a true professional that stands out in the industry. So that's why we wanted to chat with you and kind of see where you're headed, your vision with the Hive, and where do you go from here. So what's next, man? What else can you tell us, or what can people do to network with you?
I'd really like to just build the business from that standpoint where I can help other wholesalers um, dive into the business on that aspect of it, because I think if you can wrap your arms around the idea that you truly can help someone, and believe that you yourself, you know, then you can actually do this business. I think too many people come on board and say, yeah, I've had a sales job before, and I could sell people. Well, you know what? You're not really selling them, because again, that's there's no other really word to describe it, but you got to lead with your heart, and the only way you could do that is by truly saying, okay, how can I really help this person? And I think that's where the real magic lies. If I can help more people uncover that about themselves, you know as humans, we don't want to get emotional, right? Because it's embarrassing. Sometimes we have too much pride. But I've in the fitness industry, I've it's funny because I've actually hired people and I've trained people that said I don't need a trainer, or that said I'll never get someone to buy personal training from me because of the way I look or because of the way they look. So I've actually gotten bodybuilders that were in phenomenal shape, that were 4 times bigger than myself at the time, um, to cry, to literally cry, give me a hug, and say, wow, no one's ever done that to me, ever put me in that spot where I had to break it out, in terms of being honest with myself and laying it all out on the line and being so exposed. And they thank me for it because I put them in a mental position to win. So I'd like to be able to offer that, to not only the Hive, but to anyone that joins the Hive, anyone outside of the Hive, and take it on a national level. I think if I could do that, everything else will come back. You know, how do you say it? It'll come back in triple
Like
net.
like, like
Tenfold.
threefold.
Threefold,
Yeah,
fivefold.
right. Because I mean, if I can start doing that for people, I think it's what the result is going to be: a building of a natural team of people that appreciate that side of the business. And in doing so, I think, it'll slowly grow, but when it grows, it's growing very strong.
Yeah, I
So
feel like those are the kind of people, man. People like yourself. Those are the kind of people that are, being attracted to the Hive, right? And some people ask us, like, "Well, how is this different from any other CRM?" Like, we're pretty proud of it. It's pretty powerful, but obviously, there's a lot of choices out there. But what we love more than anything else is the culture that we're building here. To see, people that are playing at your level, are seeing what the bigger picture here. They're able to see the vision and they're coming on board all by themselves. Like, we've done no marketing, and people are seeing it. They're seeing the vision right away, plugging in. And I think that's what's making it super, super powerful. It's like it's a collection now of these powerful energies all getting together to help each other do more deals, right? In a competitive environment like real estate, if you can get this many people to collaborate, I mean, it just feels like, I keep saying it. It's like, I think we're really onto something. And it really does feel that way, man. So yeah, thank you for sharing your expertise. And I really love the part of selling emotionally, being able to tap into somebody's emotions, that inner psychology, and just really see what's down in there. And when you really dig deep into yourself, that's how you can bring that out of other people. And it's a very, very valuable skill set, but also to be the protector, right? You can protect people from making poor decisions when you get them into that emotional state. You can say, hey, look, I know this is all about the numbers, or you might think it's all about the numbers, but here's what I'm going to do for you. Here's how we can lay it all out. And like, even if we're not the best solution, we do have these people's best interest in mind. And dealing with somebody like you who's so genuine, I think it's a very, very, very powerful position to be in, and it's exciting to talk about it with you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I had a gentleman today that reached out to me for the third time, and he actually was like taunting me. He's like, you said you would call me back, and you didn't. Well, I actually did call him back. He has two numbers. I called him on the other line. So he was actually like reaching out, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to call him again. But I called him on the other number, and he said, have we spoke? I said, yeah, we spoke a couple weeks ago. He told me you wanted X amount of dollars. I said, have you had any luck since then selling the property? And he said, well, I've had 17 people come over, And since then, and I've had 5 to 6 people genuinely interested in it. And, I'm sitting on a couple offers from those people. And I said, okay, well, you reached out to me today. So I'm assuming that none of those people gave you an offer that you accepted. Otherwise, you wouldn't be reaching out to me. And he's like, well, yeah, that's true. These people are interested and so on and so forth. And I basically said, so I'm not able to come to that number that you're looking for. And he's like, what number is that? I'm like, well, you mentioned last time 360, 365. I'm definitely not able to come anywhere close to that number. And he's like, oh, really? He's like, well, where are you at? I said, to be honest with you, I'm down somewhere around 300. And he's like, oh, wow. He's like, I'd be a fool to take 300 when I got an offer for 340. So I just uncovered that, right? I uncovered he got 340. And I said, okay, so since you got the offer for 340, I said, why haven't you closed on that deal? I said, is it because, the gentleman just really doesn't have the money? Or he goes, well, I've got it listed with the realtor and I'm hoping that the realtor will bring in a higher offer. I'm like, so you're telling me that 340 was the highest offer you got? I said, what was any of the other lower offers? And he's like, well, I don't know. He's like, I didn't accept them. And I said, here, listen. I said, I did some research on your property. The reason why I can't come up that high, anywhere close to it, is because there isn't enough comps to support me paying you $360 or $340 or $320 and having enough room to do a renovation on the property and then being able to make a profit. I said, because anything I do, I have to make a profit. I said, but the other thing is I have to remember that I have to help you. So if it doesn't work for you, it's definitely not going to work for me. I said, so in this case, I'm like, if I can offer you 300,000, it's because I know that I can buy it at 300,000 and be comfortable enough to have enough cushion to make a couple dollars. So he said, all right, well, I guess I'll have to go back to the drawing board and take that 340 or whatever, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay. I said, just know if those people don't come through, which I'm assuming they're not going to, because you would have already done it. They would have already, closed the deal with you. I said, just know that I am here and I will give you an offer and it's going to be somewhere around 300, but you'll know the offer is good and I can close within 30 days. So then I hung up, we hung up. He said, okay, thank you. We hung up. He called me back 15 minutes later. And when he called back, he said, was I just talking to you? I said, yeah, you were just talking to me. How are you? And he's like, well, I just wanted to let you know, I'm really thinking about it. I said, okay, good. I said, well, when you're done thinking about it, let me know. I said, remember, it's got to work for you. If it doesn't work for you, you already know your other options. You got it with the realtor, you got it with all these other people. I said, but if I give you the offer, you're going to get the number that you're going to get, that I tell you you're going to get, it's going to go in your pocket. And so I said, go ahead and think about it. So I pushed away, go ahead and think about it. And he's like, okay, well, let me talk to my wife about it. When can I get back to you? I said, well, I'll be out of state for about a week because I'm going to go on vacation with my family. I said, but you could still call me and I'll still reach back out to you. He said, okay, thank you. And we hung up. So that's just an example of basically how an opportunity that doesn't look like it's an opportunity can actually come around. And now he's after me again to say, you know what, I'll buy this house. So he's clinging on to me for whatever reason, and I think the real reason is that I'm genuine with what I say, with whatever comes out of my mouth. It is genuinely, he can feel that I'm saying it because I mean it, with authority. And so the other thing is that he knows that I think he gets the feeling that I'm able to help him versus giving him a runaround. So.
No, that's magic right there, man. And that's how you do it. That's selling from a genuine position offering to help, right? Positioning yourself as the leader that can help, and then also leaving people off with a good taste in your mouth, right? Because I've heard of some of these wholesalers, some of these investors, they deal with a property seller, the meeting doesn't go their way, and then they end it with some kind of smart comment or some kind of like garbage ending. But what I do and what you do is we leave it off, and where it says, hey, look, even if you decide to go with that other offer, I might do 1, 2, and 3, make sure you avoid this, watch out for this. And also know that if something doesn't work out, and I hope it does, I say this to every single seller, I hope you sell it, to that person, and I hope you get that money, and I hope you get it quickly. I hope it goes down, everything goes perfect. But if for some reason it doesn't work out, you have my number, my offer doesn't expire. I don't do those time closing games where like, hey, my offer is only good for 12 days or whatever. There's something, you have my offer there, just consider it, keep it in your back pocket. And if you ever need it, you have my number. And ending on those good terms, on that good positive energy, I've had people call me back the very next day and say, hey, I want to have some questions about your offer, and bang, we do the deal. So that's amazing, man. So it was really good hanging out with you today, Aaron. I'm glad that we got to, chat about this and get to know each other a little bit better. I think this has been an amazing interview. I hope that people see the value in this and people reach out to you and look to work with you and do deals together. I think you're onto something huge. I think you're going to have one of the biggest teams in the Hivemind, and we're really excited to see you grow and what's going to come of this. I can't wait to look back on this interview a year later and see how far you've come. So yeah, man, just in closing, do you have any closing statements or any words you want to say?
No, I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity to be part of the Hivemind. And, I've had a tremendous experience just speaking with you guys and working with you guys on different projects here, and, discussions on Facebook, on the Clubhouse, and personal discussions we've had through Messenger and on the phone. I think you guys have a great thing going. You guys are leading with your hearts, and you guys are spreading the culture that is needed, I think, in today's industry, and any industry really, but especially the real estate industry, where it could be so very cutthroat, because again, when it comes to dollars and money, and people get a little funny, right? We know this. So I think the culture that you're breeding is where we are defeating the tradition, right? So the tradition is, you get a deal, you hug it, you hold on to it, and if you can't close it, no one else can, right? But you guys are turning that on its head, and you're bringing that hive mind mentality where we can all work together. Doesn't matter if you're not in the same state or city as I am. I could have something your way, you throw it your way, we work on it together. There could be a third or a fourth or a fifth party. We're all helping each other close these deals, whether it's, like you said, negotiations, boots on the ground, driving out to see the property, walking the property like you do so many times. Helping connect those legal side, like the attorney, the title closing company. These are all things that can make or break a deal. And the fact that you guys are just bringing this to light, turning it on its head, bringing all of us together like this, I think is unbelievable. It's so powerful. It's one of those things you can't put a price tag on it, because the value is really inside of the hive. So thank you so much.
I appreciate you saying that, and we're really happy you're part of the family, and like we treat everybody like family. Like me and Anthony didn't think we would start this and become really good friends with our users, so we appreciate you participating and being part of it and bringing value to the hive itself, and we really appreciate that.
My pleasure, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Aaron, and thank you, Daniel. Can't wait to do this again, and we appreciate you being on here and spending time with us, man. We super value when people do spend their time with us, because we know how valuable time is. So thank you so much, and we hope everybody has a good evening, and thank you for hanging out with the Hive.
Absolutely, thank you. Likewise. So you guys have a good night, have a good evening, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.